Most people are stuck in a system designed to work harder and not smarter. We're here to expose the strategies, the loopholes and the life hacks the 1% use. This is universal basic knowledge.
When I bought my wedding ring, the price was already high, but the sales tax, that was a real punch, until I found a legal way to skip it entirely. Use a freight forwarding mailbox. Most people assume that sales tax is a non-negotiable, but what they don't realize is that it's based where the item is shipped, not necessarily where you live. And some states, like Oregon, Delaware, and Montana, have no sales tax at all. Here's an example of how I was able to hack my wedding ring and not pay $1,200 in sales tax. You set up a freight forwarding mailbox in a no sales tax state. The address becomes your shipping location and the item gets forwarded to you from there. Because the point of sale is at the tax-free state, you legally avoid the charge. So an example, I buy something like a wedding ring. I have my jeweler send it to my freight forwarding box in Salem, Oregon. The box is then set up, because there's these services that I'm paying for, to then, once they get my mail, to then send it to me and my address in a different state. So in this case, say Illinois. Once I get the item a few days later. Obviously, that's the only downside of this, but you save 100% on the sales tax. And you would have paid that money and now you saved it instead. So think about this on your annual purchases. If you were spending $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a year, or you have a big purchase like a wedding ring, this is extremely large amounts of savings for doing very, very little work. On a course of a lifetime, you could be saving up to 6 figures in revenue as long as this loophole doesn't get shut out by governments, which it may, but right now it has not. So let's do the math here from the wedding ring perspective, right? So say my wedding ring was $10,000 for the sake of easy math. So $10,000 ring. In most states, we're looking at about 8% sales tax, 8 to 10%. Let's just say 10% for easy math. I'm going to pay $1,000 for that sales tax. Now, the total cost of this ring is $11,000, right? If we use this method of the freight forwarding, you're paying $25 per shipment. You know, that's the average that we've seen. It gets sent to the Oregon address. So the cost is $10,000 plus 25. And then now the cost is $10,025. So you're effectively saving the entire sales tax, and your wife is happy, your bride-to-be is happy. Weddings are very expensive. We have some great hacks on how to save money on weddings, and we'll do that in a future video. But this is a great example of a tool that you could use, not just for wedding rings, but any major purchase. You know, a entertainment or, you know, something that you're doing for your house. Nothing's worse than buying something for $5,000 and then having to pay another $400 or $500 in taxes, and, you know, using one of these tools that can do it for you. So would highly recommend this. Super easy thing to do. And I think we'll also link some names of tools that you can check out to do this yourself. Anyone could save on this. This is a universal hack for anyone, and it's totally, totally valid, not just for wedding rings, but also large purchases. So highly recommend you take advantage of it. Here's another personal hack if you run a business. If you are buying computers for your staff, you know, you are buying these items, you're going to be charged sales tax in many cases unless you're out there reselling them. So this is actually super, super valuable if you're buying items such as laptops, cameras, office equipment. I mean, think about it. That might be a $50,000, $100,000 purchase, and you can easily save $8 grand for doing pretty much nothing, right? And so think about that when you're making these big purchases. We do when we're thinking about them, so hopefully you do as well. So while most people are blindly paying 6 to 10% tax on every big purchase, the wealthy are routing to tax-free zones, saving thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars with a few clicks. It's legal, it's simple, and now you know how to do it too. If this sounds interesting to you, join our free community. You don't need to be rich to live like the 1%. You just need to learn what they do. This is universal basic knowledge.